Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. I'm Dr. Jacalyn, and our show today is Dating Chronicles with Katrina, relationship coach and energy clearing. Our topic is one that's near and dear to me, friends. It's how to get back our feminine energy. Yeah. Let's bring the star of our show, Katrina Valente, joining us from Dubai. Hello, dear. How are you?
I'm very happy to be back in Dubai. That is for sure.
You know, from the pictures that you shared, it looked like it was beautiful, but I guess it wasn't all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful, but I was living with some serious creepy crawlies.
Oh, I couldn't take it. Not take it. What did you do?
Well, I mean, the pest control come in and, you know, but once you've seen something like that, you cannot unsee it.
No, you cannot unsee it.
So it was literally on my brain for the whole time I was there. But the last week, I think my nerves were just red raw.
Because where there's one, there's many. If you think about it.
Yeah, and all different species as well, I might add.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad you're back safe and sound.
Thank you.
So tell us, you have been doing incredible work in the area of being a relationship coach. You've got your Instagram channel and platform. You've got people from YouTube watching today. Hello to them.
Oh, yeah. Hi to YouTubers.
So tell us a little bit about Dating Chronicles for people who haven't seen the show before. What do you want them to take away from these episodes?
Well, I started going on dates and I started blogging about it. I've been a holistic therapist for 28 years, but I was transitioning into doing a lot more coaching and healing work. And this got everybody's attention. And I help people in their relationship, first of all, to yourself. And then every relationship extends from that. And I work with couples as well.
Fantastic. There's no one you can't help. People just have to reach out and contact you. And we have your contact information here in the notes. So today we're going to talk about how to get back your feminine energy. And for people who might not be aware, we can all have feminine and masculine energy. Is that correct?
That's correct. The feminine energy is all receiving, all nurturing energy. And the masculine energy is the protector, the provider, the doer. So we both have masculine and feminine within us. Otherwise, you know, if as women, we didn't have the masculine, we wouldn't get out of bed in the morning. That's what gets you up, gets you going. And for men, if they didn't have the feminine side of their nature, then they would never be able to receive and they'd never be able to tap into their emotions. So the two are very critical to find balance within.
Absolutely. And I know that some people have mentioned to me before they thought that the energy was directly related to sex, but it's not.
No. That's something very different. Yeah. So it's like for nowadays, I find that women are far too much masculine. They're too much in their masculine. They're too domineering. They're too forceful. They're too masculine. So what we have to learn to do is to know when to step back into your feminine energy. So if you are the boss lady at work and then you go home and you still carry that energy, there's going to be a war because there is no room for two men in the house. So what I teach women to do is how to hang their balls up at the front door before going.
That was classic. Hello, here you go. Sorry.
Literally, I mean, metaphorically, they have to really be aware of it, because I mean, me and you are prime examples of that. You know, I mean, I've lived in my masculine energy. I mean, it's also for survival technique. So you need it to survive. There's nobody paying my bills but me. So you need to have that masculine energy. But the trick is to know when to leave it behind and step back in to the all receiving energy. And it's all about also giving yourself more time. You know, stop always doing. You know, I have friends, and I was the same. You know, you'd always have to be doing something all of the time. You need to stop that, and you need to start giving yourself some real quality time, some downtime, some fun, some time just for you and you alone.
Yeah, I love this. You'll be happy to hear that I did tap into my feminine energy yesterday. I started doing some gardening, which for me,
Wow.
like what? Only because I wanted to take care of what my mom has here and not let it go. But I was afraid of the pests. And when you talked about the pests, the creatures that you just had to deal with.
Oh,
But
God.
but it really was, I think it's important. So if we've lost our feminine energy, if we are acting in the masculine energy, and this could be for men as well, what are some of the first red flags that it's a warning that, hey, you've really got to take a look at this?
Well, I think, you know, when you start trying to be the man, you start competing with your partner or your boyfriend. You know, I mean, women all make their own money nowadays. They're all very capable, but it's knowing where to step aside and allow the man to be the man. Because what's happening is, by being in that masculine energy as a woman, you are emasculating the men and making them more feminine. And I think in this day and age, we're coming across a lot more feminized men. And this is one of the reasons.
So I agree with what you're saying. I think a challenge that I see for someone like you or for me is that we are responsible for our finances and we are in the masculine energy. And then you meet a man, and I know this has happened to me so many times, believe it or not. They're attracted to me because I'm strong and I'm independent, but then they don't want me to be like that. We want you to be sweet. Where's sweet Jackie? Like, she's dead. She isn't here. So, but
Yeah,
how do you
no,
change? How do you turn from one to the other?
there's there's no real alpha male that will be attracted to a strong masculine female. He might respect the fact that she's successful, but he certainly does not want to compete against her. So, you know, there's a very fine line. You know, you've got to want to serve your man. And I was talking to this with my friend the other day, and a lot of women are triggered by that word, to serve. But if you come from a place of love, not doing something because you want something in return, but just out of the kindness, the love in your heart to give because you enjoy it. then that's all your man could ask for, because men ultimately want to be supported. They have no emotional support. A man cannot talk to his friends about how he's feeling. That's never going to happen. So the woman has got to be that anchor for him, some place that he can come home, that he feels nurtured, loved, understood.
So, Katrina, if you have two people in a relationship and both people are working, that's where I think the challenge can come in, because I remember myself being in relationships and I'd be like, yeah, I put in a full day too. Okay. Like, what about me and what I have to say? So, where do we as women, where and how do we share our feelings when we're also working and responsible for finances?
I mean, it's a tricky one. I think you have to talk about this to your partner. You have to have clear boundaries, because then if you don't, resentment steps in. So if you're both working equal amount of hours, then you have to define who does what at home. Then you both have to step in equally. But if you have an alpha male, then he should allow you to be more feminine, to take care of you in that way.
Yes. I've also heard people who are in committed relationships that they have a no work conversation policy. So you come home from work and you're not allowed to talk about it. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's good. I think talking about work is very, very boring. Unless, you can highlight the day in 10 minutes, but to keep going on about all the pressures you're having at work, who's pissed you off today and who's going to piss you off tomorrow, it's pointless. You have to come together and you have to make your home a safe haven, a place of peace and tranquility. A man wants to come home to peace. Ask any man, he'll tell you that. I just want peace in my life. Men don't like arguing. They hate to see a woman cry. They'll do anything for an easy life. So it's up to you to give them that.
Yeah, I've heard that before. And yet there are some women who really like to debate things with men. And I always think you're not going to win with that. Join a debate team.
No, because then you're stepping into the masculine energy. There's no softness in debating. For what purpose? I mean, okay, you can give your opinion, absolutely, but there's a point where you just have to play the game if you want the love and attention and the protection and the security from a man.
So in relationships where it's kind of gotten out of hand, meaning that couples are arguing, and I've seen this where it's a power play, who's in control. And I'm hearing what you're saying, the man essentially has to be in control or to think that he has control. But what about when women just don't want to give that control up?
Then they're not going to have successful relationships unless they choose a beta man who's a bit more submissive in the feminine energy. But long term, that's never going to work, because we're just not built like that. We were not made like that. So down the line, that alpha woman is going to resent that. She's going to resent that her man doesn't step up, take care of her, make decisions, stuff like that.
Now, I don't know if this is an area of expertise or not, but what about for our friends who are watching who are in same-sex relationships where there are two women or two men?
There's always a male and a female energy.
So it doesn't matter about the container.
Always.
It matters about
No.
yeah.
No, it's about the energy. even in same sex, you will always get the male and the female energies running. You can never be too feminine or too masculine. It's just, it just doesn't work. There's no attraction.
Is there a certain amount of or percentage of time that, as in a successful relationship, where we have the feminine energy displayed? Is it 90% of the time when we're with our partner, or do you have any idea what that number might be?
Not really. I mean, it's about allowing the man to be a man and you being there to support and nurture him, in a nutshell, you know. So it's like, you know, you'll cook him dinner, you'll, you know, get out of bed and bring him a cup of tea. I mean, we have to go back to basics. We've got lost in translation, and I really believe this is why so many women struggle to find a man and vice versa, because the roles have switched and it's just not working anymore. Men no longer know what women want.
Yes, I think that's a great point, that there's confusion because the roles have switched. When I think of women I know who are in relationships, I mean, I could just think across the board, there's a power struggle where they feel they've been running the household, or they raised the kids, or whatever the situation was. Maybe, you know, they have a career also, and now's their time. You know, they did all of the work, and meanwhile, the man's been working all of the time as well. So the woman in some cases has double duty, you know, career and family. And now at a certain age, they feel like, no, now it's about me. Put me up on a pedestal.
Yeah, and I think you have to really figure out that dynamic. You know, I mean, if you're with an alpha male, then you really shouldn't be working that hard. You should be taking care of him. He should be your number one priority. If you really want the relationship to go the distance, I think that we have to go back to how it used to be in our parents' day and age, where the woman was the woman and the man was the man.
I remember many, many years ago of a married couple when I was married, we were really good friends with them. And they were married for, I think they're still married, a long time. And I asked her what the secret to a successful marriage was. And she said, 75% of the time, he gets every minute of my attention, and he's number one. And if he's not number one, I let him think he is number one. I was like, that's got to be exhausting. She goes, that's the way that it works. And I said, okay, I don't know, because obviously I haven't been successful in relationships, and that could be why.
Yeah, I think absolutely. There's really a valid point there. And you know, I believe that feminism killed the divine feminine energy. Even before I even understood anything about masculine feminine, I never really subscribed to feminism, and I didn't really know why. It just never sat right with me. And it's like, it's just, we are not equal to men. We are not. Maybe we can make as much money as they can, but you know, if you want your, you know, your car washed, who do you ask? A man. If you want a carpenter, who do you ask? A man. If you want your car fixed, who do you ask? A man. You know, it's like,
But there are women who are in those professions.
there are, but minimal. They're definitely not feminine women if they're in these professions. That is for sure.
Yeah. We do have a comment. Yay, Heather Grant is with us. Hi, Heather. Heather is one of our producers here at USA Global TV and Radio, and she is also doing my social media marketing. Woo! Okay, she writes, I've been with my partner for 7 years, and it took us until year 5 to figure out our dynamic. We stuck it out and worked hard to get where we are now. Congratulations, and thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, and where is your dynamic, Heather? I'm interested to know.
Where is your dynamic? Is that the question?
Yeah.
All right, Heather, there you go. Follow-up question for you. So I think one thing, now that we're talking this through, I feel like I could be getting some therapy here from you. So I think, because I've been on my own for almost, except when I was with my parents, even when I was married, I think that I feel like it has to be 50-50. Because when you're, and I hear you're saying intellectually, I get it, but I know from what I feel inside that I don't want, like, okay, so let's just take this scenario. I just took care of my mom for a number of years, right? And I'm glad I got the chance to do that. I don't know that I want to take care of anybody. And I don't really want anyone to take care of me. So I guess that's why, hence, I'm alone behind a green screen. What do you think?
But you see, I mean, I took care of my mum as well. Not the way I wasn't living with her, but I took care of her. And that is us in our masculine energy. And it's exhausting. Isn't it exhausting?
Yes, exhausting.
Love her or hate her, it's exhausting.
Yes.
So for you to say that, I just think because you don't want to give up the control, Dr. Jacalyn, that's what it is. You feel if you allow a man to take control, that you will be out of control of your life. You'll give away your power.
That could be. That could definitely be. I know somebody reached out to me, a man reached out to me, was interested in dating me, and knows me for a long time. And anyway, said, "So you'll come and work for me?" And I just said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "Yeah, I don't know what you're doing now." He said, "But you'll come and you'll work for me." I'm like, "Yeah, this is not going to be going anywhere." So, so in that case, if I was going to support him, that means I have to give up me and what I'm doing, what I love?
Yeah, no. I mean, that's a bit too much. I mean, he's not asking you, he's telling you. No. That's a complete control freak right there.
Definitely.
So no. But I mean, you have to understand what the other person needs, and you have to give them what they need. And I mean, you've heard the saying, behind every great man there's an even greater woman. All the wealthy families that I've dealt with, the woman is totally of service to her husband. She is there to support him in any way she can. Now, obviously, finances aren't a problem, and she might have her side hustle, but her main thing is her husband. And I really believe that is the way to go if you want a successful relationship.
I'm just taking in what you said. Okay, Heather's come back with a follow-up. Thank you, Heather. We are in the traditional role. He takes care of the man stuff, fixing plumbing, taking out the trash, and I'm taking care of
Excellent.
him.
You see, thumbs up. She's got it right. Well done, Heather.
Way to go, Heather. Woo! We both work and share financial responsibility. Now, that's a good point. What about when it comes to the money? So let's say we dedicate ourselves to our partner and we treat our partner like a king. Then do we just say, and let's say it's you. Let's say it's me. Okay, we have income, we have money. So do we then say, okay, you pay for everything, honey, because I'm taking care of you? And he says, well, no, you have money. You have to chip in and pay for half of whatever. I know you're not on the splitting of the money.
Absolutely no. Absolutely not. My money is my money, and his money is my money. It's like, no, alpha males would never, ever expect you to pay for anything. It's their job as a man to provide for you. And if you want to chip in now and again, that's great. But he pays the bills, he pays the mortgage. And if you want to pay for other things, I mean, that's a personal choice. But no, I believe that the man has to pay, he has to take care. The Arabs are very much like that. The Arabs never allow a woman to pay. They're very traditional like that, I have to say. It's funny, I've been watching this lawyer online. He's been a divorce lawyer for about 20 years. And he was saying that marriage is just, forget it. He said, go into a marriage expecting to be divorced. He had some very, very relevant points. And he says, you know, when people get married, they don't ask the right questions. They don't really get to the nitty gritty. It's all love and light. And it's not that. You have to really find out what people's values are, what's important to them, how they want to, you know, work out, what do they think a marriage even is? You know, a lot of people, younger people going into marriage have got no clue.
Now, I'm glad that you brought that up because you and I are from the same generation. I'm wondering, because of what I know or have heard from people who are in their 20s and 30s who are in relationships or who are married, is they split everything when it comes to the finances. And this is sort of a deal breaker. And I know for men that I've dated, it was always they would pay for whatever it was. They would, like, go out to dinner, you try to pay. What, are you out of your mind? There's no way. I'm paying for dinner. I'm paying for the vacation. Now, when it came to personal items like clothing, or you're going to go you get your hair done or whatever, you know, that is debatable. Maybe they would pay, maybe I would pay. But what do you have to say about the younger generations who are splitting everything?
No, this is what's gone wrong, because they're confused. And this is where you're getting a lot of more feminized men. I mean, I've spoken to a lot of younger guys and they're like, well, why should I pay? I'm like, because it's your job as a man. You are the protector and the provider. I mean, look, this is how we were made. This is how God made us. It's not a choice. It's how we were brought into the world. I have a different genitals to a man for a reason. We came here to do different jobs. So when you start trying to do the job of a man and he tries to start doing the job of a female, then you got a problem.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because just hearing what you're saying, if I were to meet someone and they said to me, you know, you still do your work. I love my work. At the end of the day, I wish I had somebody that I could tell all the things that I've learned, because that's what I think is so great about what I do. It's that I'm learning so much. So I'd love to share those. So somebody said, hey, you keep writing your books, you keep singing, you keep producing, you keep hosting. That's great. I'm number one, the man. And baby, I'll take care of you. You don't have to worry about it. I'd be like, yeah, sign me up. That sounds amazing. But what I've always experienced is he wants to be number one and he wants to change me. You work out too much. You work too much. There's always things that
No,
I'm doing too much.
I mean, that's wrong. You need to support each other in what it is you love to do. I'm not saying for the woman to stop working. No, I'm not saying that at all. I think it's very important actually to keep your independence and to keep, you know, to make your own money, because if you completely rely on a man for finances, I think that's a big mistake. I've seen a lot of wealthy families fall apart when it ends, and then the woman's left with absolutely nothing. I mean, that's just stupidity. But there's a way of doing things that you support each other in the best possible way.
Okay, so here's a question for you. This is a biggie. There are women out there watching and they take everything in that they're hearing, and their husband, their partner comes home and they say, guess what? I'm not paying for anything anymore. You're going to pay for everything. And in exchange, I'm going to make you number one. And how's that going to go over?
Well, I mean, if he's a real man, he will absolutely love that, because men don't have an outlet to, you know, they're at work, they're their boss, they're making money, they're grinding, they're working really hard. You don't want to come home into a war zone with a woman that's trying to compete with you. You want to come home to peace and tranquility and nurturing and love and great sex. And that is not going to happen if you come home to an alpha female. It's not going to happen.
Yes, I hear what you're saying. So it sounds like to me, and I'm going to use me as an example again, because I think I fit right in with what you're saying. So most of the time, I'm not saying just men, but in general, people ask me what I do. I tell them what I do, and then they change the subject. So I basically never get to talk about what I do. I would talk to my mom, but other than that, I don't really get to talk about it. So I get into a relationship with a man. I'm doing the same thing, right? Not talking about anything. And at some point, I'm sure my head blows off and I just go, yeah, I can't take it anymore because I can't even talk to you, my partner, about what it is I'm doing.
But then it's the wrong person.
Okay. So the guy has to be interested in what I'm doing.
Of course.
Okay. I'm glad we
But if he loves you, he's going to be interested in everything that you're doing. He has to be interested in you as a whole. He can't just pick parts of you, just like you can't pick out parts of him, the likes and the dislikes. You've got to accept someone as a whole person, and you're not going to like everything about that person. But you've got to ask yourself, does this person give me what I need to make me happy? It's what you need. It's not what you want. There's a big difference there.
So for people who are in relationships out there and they're listening and they're starting to question, how do you know when the relationship that you have is definitely not going to work? Or is it possible that it just is a matter of effort on both parts? Like, how do you know?
Yeah, I mean, relationship is work. You have to be in a conscious relationship. You know, it's about giving. It's not about receiving. This is what people don't understand. If you're going to be in a relationship, it's about what you can give to make that other person's life better. And in return, they will do exactly the same to you and more. So, you know, it's like you're in the wrong relationship if you wake up unhappy every day. There's very few people in long-term relationships that can turn around and say they're truly happy and in love with their partner. A lot of people stay for money, for the kids, for an easier life. You know, there's not a lot of people that stay together because they want to be together. And that's the sad part.
Yeah. And I think to your point, sometimes people stay together because they're absolutely terrified of being alone.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, on one of our other shows, you said something that really resonated with me, and you just alluded to it again. So I'd really like to have you expand upon that. What you shared was, if a man doesn't feel like he can bring something to your life or to make your life better.
Yeah.
So what did you say about that? I think that's important.
Because, well, remember, we have to go back to who men are at a core level, and they are the knight in shining armor. So a man has to be of service to you. So he looks at you and he thinks to himself, what can I give this woman that she can't give herself? And if the answer is nothing, he'll walk away. Because the biggest service you can be to a man is ask him to do things for you. Honey, can you just take the trash out? Can you open this jar for me? Can you just zip me up? You know, men love to be of service. If you're in the gym, ask them to lift a weight down for you or sort something up on, you know, the pulley machine or whatever. Men love, love, love to be of service. So yes, we can do it ourselves. But if a man offers to help you, always say, yes, thank you. Because listen, I'll put my hand up. I never accept. I say, okay, it's okay. No, don't worry. But I'm coming from a place of the wounded feminine where it's like, I don't want to bother you. I can do it myself. It's okay. I don't feel good enough to be helped. So you
Wow.
see, so
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
so
powerful. And you know what,
yeah.
Katrina, thank you for sharing that. I'm laughing because I'm the same. I used to travel quite a bit for my corporate job and I'd fly. And when you go to get the bags out of the overhead bin, always somebody would say, "A man, can I help you with that?" I'd be like, "No, thank you. I lift weights." And I'd be like, watch out. And I always would say no. I'm thinking to myself, I should have just said yes. What am I trying to prove?
And you wonder why you're still single. I mean, come on.
Okay, now I want to bring up something else with you, which I think we discussed on another show a long time ago. To the point that you just said, men like to do this, men like to do that. There's a movie, I can't remember the name of it. Vince Vaughn and oh my gosh, Jennifer, what is her name? She's so cute. I can't think of it, but they're in this relationship and she asks him to go to the store and buy lemons. She gives him a certain number that she needs because she's putting them in a vase for a table arrangement. And so he goes and he gets them. And I don't remember the exact wording, but basically, she says to him, I want you to be happy and excited about buying the lemons. And he's like, I got the lemons. You wanted the lemons, and here they are. And she's like, no, but you're not excited about getting the lemons. He's like, no, I'm not excited about getting the lemons. I got the lemons. I don't know what you want from me. And she's like, I want you to want to get the lemons. So thank you, the breakup with Jennifer Aniston. Thank you, Heather. So what do you say about that? I mean, I know it's a movie, but I think it's true because sometimes guys will be like, yeah, I really don't want to take out the trash.
Yeah, but they do it. So it's all in the action. It doesn't matter about how if they want to do it or not, they did it.
Okay.
So they care enough about you to make you happy, because if they do X, Y, or Z, they know that's going to make you happy, so they'll do it.
Yeah, that's a great point. I remember in various relationships, a guy would say, actually more than one guy, you know, I just don't know what I can do to help you. And I'd be like, I don't need your help. Now I get it. I get it. Decades of wrong information I've been giving to people.
It's so, I mean, it's really a big mistake. And I've done it my whole life, don't get me wrong. I mean, I was that girl as well, you know, traveling but now I just stand back and I go, oh, thank you very much. I always say your mother would be proud of you. You always
Do they
laugh.
like that? I am learning so much today. It's unbelievable. So I basically have to undo everything I've been doing.
Absolutely. Step by step, Dr. Jacalyn. I am rooting for you.
Now, what about you? You are the expert. How do you implement these things? Because you did go on a number of dates because you wanted to get the experience and then report back. You let the guys know. So how have you implemented this process in the dates that you've had? Or actually, I want to ask a question. Do you start implementing this from date number one? So you're on a first date with a guy and oh, I'm just here to serve you, sweetheart. I just want to make you happy. My role is to make you happy. I mean, is that the way you
No. I mean, look, I don't really see myself as an expert. I mean, I'm learning along with everybody else, but I've just studied the male-female dynamic for over 10 years. And as a side effect of that, I've learned a lot. And then organically, I mean, obviously, when you're a therapist, people tell you, they open up to you and they talk to you. And I just organically started helping people with their relationships. But I am much more aware now, and I observe. I observe what a man does. I observe his manners. I observe if he's waiting for me. I mean, if a man expected me to pay 50% of a bill, it's the last time he will ever see me. Because it's not about the money, it's about being treated like a lady. You know, you are a queen, you're a goddess, and you need a man that recognizes that in you and is going to treat you as such. And people might say that's not reality. It is reality if you make it your reality. How much do you honor and respect yourself? That's how much someone else should honor and respect you too.
Excellent way to close out the show today. I love it. I love all the passion and energy that you brought today. This is a great subject. Thank you.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
So, Katrina, for people who want to reach out to you, tell us, because you offer more than the services we're talking about today. Tell us about everything that you offer. I'm going to bring up your website.
Okay, so I'm still doing my raindrop massage if you're in Dubai, which realigns the electromagnetic field of the body, and medical lymphatic drainage massage. And I still do the tarot reading and the energy clearing. And I've just actually uploaded a new ebook on my website. And all you have to do is put in your email address, and then you will get to have the ebook on how to be more feminine. Bring
Look
back
at
the
that.
woman within you.
I'm going to be downloading it right after we get off of here today.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And then
Congratulations.
I'm on Instagram every day, Katrina Valente, and the number 1, and the website is katrinavalente.com.
And of course, that picture of you, so sultry and sexy and powerful.
I have the guy, the photographer is fantastic. He's a stylist. He does hair, makeup, and the photographs. So talented.
So he's in Dubai, though, right?
He's in Dubai.
Okay.
Mr. Fadi Chedi, if anybody wants to contact him.
And we've got some fabulous testimonials here.
Yeah.
All right. And by the way, isn't it fantastic how the website colors and branding match the show graphic that we have? Yay.
Yay.
I love when that comes together. So you're offering a free 20-minute session, and then people can sign up for other sessions here as well.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Anywhere else we should go on your website?
The website gives you a lot of details of what I'm offering, actually, and then all the physical treatments that I'm doing. And I'm still doing a couple of anti-aging facials. I can't seem to quite let go of that just yet, but I'm offering a couple of my favorite anti-aging facials.
I wish we lived near each other. So much fun. Okay, and then to talk about this is the podcast that you've done.
Yeah, and I'm doing podcasts on a regular basis. I think my next one's going to be on the menopause with an expert that has been helping me through my menopause. And I think it's very important information for women.
Absolutely. And by the way, your friend, Dawn,
yeah.
Dawn, and she was here on the platform talking about menopause. I'm following her on Instagram. I'm loving what she's doing there in the gym.
Yeah, I've been doing her program, actually. It's amazing. It's interesting how much stronger you are than you think you are when you really get focused. It's been incredible learning for me, actually, to realize actually how much weight I can actually lift. And through menopause, you're supposed to lift really heavy to shock the body into thinking it's producing estrogen again.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the approach that I take. Excuse me. Just in it's something I wanted to share. I just watched the movie on Netflix, not a paid spokesperson, Naiad. Have you seen it?
Oh, I'm about to watch it, actually. Was it good?
And is amazing. And I read the backstory about Annette Bening and Jodie Foster and what they did to get ready for the film. And what's so interesting, and again, this is my interpretation of what I read, that Annette Bening had a lean, thin yoga body. And to become this swimmer, she had to start lifting some serious weights, and her back ended up being a completely different back from what it was when she was doing yoga, and how strong she was. And so what I really took away from that is I'm always so angry with myself because I'm not as lean as I used to be, but I am so strong. And because people tell me in the class, I took a spin class and they're like, yeah, I was with 20
Yeah,
And
but you're so lean. What are you talking
no,
about?
I'm not as lean as I used to be, and it drives me crazy, but I'm super strong. So when I watched that movie, I took that away from that, this woman at 64, I think she was able to make that incredible swim the 5th time. And it's that perseverance and that strength. And again, that's the masculine energy. So I'm grateful that I have that, because that means a lot to me. My mom was like that too.
Oh,
And I
God.
digress. Yes.
Beautiful. Very nice.
So thank you for another fabulous episode. You'll be back in 2 weeks?
I will be back at the end of November. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, we look forward to having you back. And thank you everyone for watching. Our dear friend here is here to help you. So please reach out to her. Her contact information's here. Heather, thank you for engaging with us today. We really do appreciate it. And we'll be back with our next show, which is Caroline Heward. You met Caroline, and she's going to talk about narcissists. So that's an interesting
show
coming up right after this on Talking Heads. So thanks again. Thanks, Katrina. Bye, Heather. Bye, everyone. Bye.